If you want to improve your life in 2020, make the time to read. Throughout the last year, reading has helped me to manage my anxiety, create and build a business that I love, make better decisions in my life, make more money, create more focus and attention in my day-to-day, and be a more productive human being amongst a whole bunch of other things. To make it easier and more likely that you're going to read in 2020, create a curated list of books that you want to read in the next year. In this video, I'm going to go through my reading list for 2020, give you some tips on writing your own reading list for 2020 so that it's actually a focused list and it's going to help you in the new year. And I'm going to give you a list of books that impacted me the most and made me take the most action in 2019. So first, let's dive into how to create your own reading list, starting with creating an idea of who you want to be. So maybe you want to be a person that is really good with money by the end of the year. In that case, what books can you read that will help you to be that person? Maybe like The Barefoot Investor or some Dave Ramsey. Or you want to be the most organized person in 2020. In that case, maybe you need some Marie Kondo in your life, or you need to read The Organized Mind. So if you've been following my New Year's Reset series, you've already done this, so you're good. You can skip this part. If you want a place to start, I have a video all about how to figure out what you want, and I have a video all about how to create a vision for your life. Those two combined are super powerful. Basically, you want to create an idea of who that ideal person is, and you want to start looking for books that will support you to be that person. So for me, the qualities and the things that I want to embrace in the next year are being a person who's really on top of their self-management, their energy management. I want to be a person that connects more with people. I want a lot more connection in my life in the year of 2020. I want to practice deep work, and I want to practice courage over comfort. And there are a ton of books that will help me to get to that point. So I'm going to walk through my reading list for 2020, all books that will help to support me to be the person that I want to be. And after that, I'll talk about the books that changed my life this year that you might want to chuck on your reading list. So the first book that I'm actually going to be rereading is Off the Clock, and it's by Lauren van der Kamp. This is all about feeling less busy and getting more done. So when I first read this had a really strong impact, and I remember it really inspiring me and motivating me, and I made a few changes because of it. I want to actually go back to that book, revisit some of the core principles, and just get a little bit remotivated. I think that something that people often forget about is rereading. So if you have any of those kind of books that you read in the past that really inspired you and changed your behavior, go back to them. There are probably principles that maybe you've forgotten about that you need to refresh yourself on to get you realigned and refocused for the new year. The next book is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. Even the title of this book, I'm like, do you need to read it? It feels like the title kind of encompasses the whole philosophy behind the book, but I'm going to read it anyways and see if there's any helpful advice in it. I think the title really reminded me of some of the concepts in the book How to Be Yourself, which is a guide for shy people that I've talked about before. It's a great book, so I thought that I would give it a bit of a flip through. The next book is called The Art of Gathering: How We Meet and Why It Matters. So this was actually suggested in the Life Map Facebook group. Someone was asking about books about connection, and someone commented about this book. Like I mentioned, I want to bring more connection to my life in the new year. I want to have more gatherings, have more people around, do more things. This is all about how to make gatherings memorable and effective. I just thought it was a really interesting concept for a book, so I'm really excited to dig into it. The next book is called Finish: Giving Yourself the Gift of Done. So this book is all about going from a person who is a starter to a person who's a finisher, and how people who are finishers are generally people that put less pressure on themselves. I am fascinated by the topic of getting things done, achieving your goals, which is why I created a product like the Life Map, and I want to dig as deep as I can into that topic so that I can help you guys in the new year. So that's a book that I really want to read. The next up is a book called Connected. So it's all about the surprising power of our social networks and how they impact our lives. So it reads, How Your Friends' affect everything you feel, think, or do. I remember hearing a podcast, I think it was sometime this year, and in it they said that if your friend's friend smokes, you are 15% more likely to start smoking. And I thought it was so interesting. So I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that world and understand exactly how much your friends affect you and affect your life, and how you can get a little bit more control over that. And the last one is everyone communicates, few connect. What the most effective people do differently. I think I can be a good communicator. However, I do have a tendency to fall back on the easy default of asking a lot of questions when I meet new people. Like I'll meet someone new and I will literally just be like, oh, you do that? That's interesting. Tell me more. And just ask a ton of questions to get them talking. And what ends up happening is I will have a whole conversation with someone where I won't actually say a single thing about myself. It's totally one-sided and it may make the other person feel good. And I think that that's great. However, I don't think it actually creates a real sense of connection because essentially you know so much about this person. They know nothing about you. Like that's not a relationship. I think a lot of shy people who have learnt to converse will probably relate to me here on being the question asker, not the talker. So those are all of my books that are on my reading list for the next year. Now I want to talk about the books that made the biggest impact on me that I read in this last year. These are books that really made me think and also really made me take action. Like I did things differently because of these books. And the first was Decisive. When I was first reading this book, I was making big decisions about the life map, my product that I released, and going through this really helped me when I was trying to make better decisions around that product. And all the concepts are things that I'm constantly going back to whenever I feel like I need to make a big decision. I'm like, okay, widen your frame. This is a book that I would recommend, particularly to someone who is just graduating or was in a bit of like a career slump or needed to make some big decisions in their life about where they wanted to move, where they wanted to go next. Highly recommend this book, and it gives you really actionable steps to take to make better decisions as well. So the next books are Cal Newport's Deep Work and Digital Minimalism. So I would recommend reading it in that order. Deep Work will get you really excited and looking forward to a very focused 2020, and Digital Minimalism will help you to cut out technology distractions in your life so that you can create more focus in your life. I think after reading just Deep Work, I changed my relationship with social media. So for the first 6 months of the year, I was downloading Instagram twice a week, and that was perfect for me. Towards the end of the year, I've started popping on Instagram more, but even still, when I go onto Instagram, I usually delete it afterwards so that I'm not going on it and just scrolling through. There's still more work to be done, and right now, me and my partner are actually going through a challenge where we're cutting social media out of our lives so that I'm making myself even more indistractable. However, this book was definitely the catalyst for change. Like it was the thing that I read and I was like, okay, something needs to change in order for me to be a more productive and also happier person in the next year. The next book is one that I've already raved about, and it's called How to Be Yourself. 100% this book will change the game for you if you're a shy person. It is the book for shy people. You'll read it, you'll feel understood, you'll feel a weight off your shoulders, and you will be ready to take action in the new year so that you can be a more confident version of yourself going forward. The two business books that had the biggest impact on me were Launch by Jeff Walker. He has a whole course around it. I literally just read the book and that had such an impact on my launch of my product. Would highly recommend it. And then also Profit First, which I mentioned I'm going to be reading again in the new year. It's a system that I'm currently working on implementing, and already I'm feeling like a weight has been lifted a little bit and I feel more in control of my money, which is an excellent feeling to bring into the new year. If you liked this video and you want a list of the books that have had the biggest impact on my life in general, I'm gonna have that linked on the screen and down below. These are some of the life-changing books that I've read in the past 4 or 5 years or so that have had the biggest impact on my life trajectory. It'll also give you some inspiration for books that you might want to put on your reading list. If you want more 2020 reset videos, I have a ton of them that exist on my channel, and there's going to be some more that are being uploaded. If you want to create good New Year's productive, focused vibes, then make sure to click the subscribe button. I appreciate you so very much, and I'll see you soon.